Alright, we are live on the old YouTube as we're getting ready for the stream, the return. It's been 2 weeks, not the usual one. Oops, I gotta mute that. I got lost track of time. I almost started the stream really late. I was like, oh crap. I look up and I got like 2 minutes to go. Like, whoops. Oh well. Oh well, it's always a slow start for these things, so guess it's no big deal. Just logging in to all the other channels that the streaming happens. Or other platforms, I should say. There's Twitch. Let's go to Kick next. Alright. There's a Volkswagen Beetle sitting in the driveway now. Were you aware of that? My very loyal viewer. Alright, Kick is on. Now let's go to Facebook. Jeff World, hello, sir. It's been a while. Do I feel relaxed and great? No and no. Relaxed during the vacation? Not anymore. Did I get a tour of it? No, I did not. I did not get a tour. Which is fine. Apparently there are spider webs in it. Almost done. Okay, over we go. Where is my manage stream button? What the hell? Come on. There we go. Manage video. Okay, looks like we are all good to go on Facebook, on Kick, Twitch, and of course YouTube. Here we are. Yeah, well, that's just basically how life's going to be for I don't know how many more years. Oh well. Oh. Here we go. Back at it. Trying to make all the right choices. Be very smart about everything. Apparently I'm going to be on call for jury duty at the end of the month for 10 freaking days. Mr. Taylor over on Gamera Book. Hello. Blastodon. Hello. So, yeah, we are going to be... I'm going to be starting today with... Starting to put together one of those break it down to build it up lessons for Patreon. You may have noticed some of the stuff was talking about part of the solo for Metallica's Creeping Death, and the person who kept asking about it has asked for a break it down to build it up because he wants more help. So I'm going to see... Did I download a tab for this already? Because I'm going to make this as easy as possible. Because yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to put together a bit of a lesson plan. And then we'll do a usual response video. Maybe 2. We'll see what happens today. Okay, I do not have a tab downloaded. I thought I did. Let's go to Ultimate Guitar and see what we can find. Move this over here so I can see the chat better. Took a month break from shred practice and focused on the EP. Still got my chops, but this week I'm getting back into shred practice. Well, I would imagine recording for the EP is still helping you with the chops to some extent, yeah? Joe, hello, sir. Good to see you on. The break was good, thank you. It needs at least 3 wah-wah pedals to get over the bump. Maybe that's all it is. Okay, this guitar profile has 447 5-star reviews. I'm going with that one. Apparently I did download it and I didn't find it. Alright, well, there it is again. Okay. Alright, I guess I can move the getting set up thing. We're basically as set up as we're going to get. There we go. Alright. Intro tempo 195. Tempo of the solo is going to be 200. Let's see. Kirk Hammett guitar. Or is that going to be under lead? Are we going to be under lead? Where is the solo? Guitar solo. Here we go. If you have cliff 'em all, you will see this part in this way. Okay, then. That's right. So we're not going to be doing the pull-offs. We're going to do some picking as well. So let's get a new file going so I can copy and paste everything. It's already tips on learning everything. Not 100% off the axe. Get the feeling dream from everything from life, working out, and shred practice. Topic for another day, but dealing with some past problems and past baggage. Well, sorry to hear that. Hopefully, working through it well, and it's getting better. Okay, so it's really just this part he has a problem with, just the single bar, but we need to do a little bit more than that, I think. And this part's at 200. Yes, 200. Okay. Alright, so there's that. Save as Patreon lesson. Breaking things down. Let's say creeping death lick. Is he really playing it at 200 beats per minute? Is Kirk really fast enough to do that? I question it. Let's listen. Comes and goes, meow. Yeah, I can understand that. All right, let's get demonetized here real quick. Let's listen to the creeping death. I got a pinpoint. I was like, is it really that fast? Let's bring up the display capture. Not really much of a bend there. So let me listen to that again. I'm gonna get that tempo right. Yeah, that's about 200, all right. Okay. I just want to get that damn bend thing at the end there. What the hell is that? What do we have over here on kick? This username is UnlimitedGrace13635. Hey homie, I checked your videos. It seems like you are new to Kick and streaming a lot and still not affiliated or partnered yet. I have a proposal for you. I will share your stream with a Kick community for you to hit 1,000 followers and earn nothing less than $1,000 per stream. I will generate organic followers and viewers for you, enable your sub button, add me on Discord if you're interested. How the hell does that scam work? Yay for DMCA. Oh yes, the demonetization thing, for sure. Well, if that one part of Creeping Death gets picked up first, yeah, we'll definitely get the hit. One thing for sure, though, I've been using it for my new metal stuff. Oh, yes, the going through the crap, using it to write good music. Good old Jankos. All right. Oof. Let's change this to that and that and also this. So here, I'm going to do it like this, make this easy. Whoops. All right. Pick, right, that's all it is. Why wouldn't he just slide to that? Why would he do that? Is that Gatorade? Propel. Yes, this is Propel. Get my electrolytes in. Get my vitamin E as well. Oh, God. Alright, I gotta find something here. Make this as easy on myself as possible. Apologies for the boring thing real quick. Come on. Why would it do that? That's just so stupid. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, don't care about that. I'm just gonna do what this guy does. A little bit so I can see that better. Okay, I'm going to just use this guy's thing because this seems quite accurate enough. Yeah. So after that, yeah, he does. I'm going to move this up here. Now, why would he do a pull-off like that, though? Da 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 da. Do that again. Ugh. I don't want to do it like that. I'm gonna do it like that. that way. Kind of a pain in the ass. Fuck it. Okay. Back to the chat. What have I missed? What have I missed? Nothing. Next song will be Testament for Shredding Practice. Oh, songs you're going to learn? Testament definitely has some great stuff. Okay. So he's doing da 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 da. And I better just verify on the actual recording. I've got too many windows. Alright, half speed, please. Oh, God. Fine. I'll download the damn song and put it in my looper. Because neither one's 100%. God damn it. Oh well, it's just a bar. Just a bar. Christ. What the hell is that thing? There we go. Wait, no, there we go. That's what I want. Paste that, convert. Get out of here. Get out of here. Download. There it goes. Alright, let's bring up. Oh, what the hell's the name of that song? Or not song, the name of that program. Transcribe. Okay. Here, move this over here. Strength has increased. Managed to lift a 156-pound air conditioner by yourself. No help. Well, that's good. What? How did the girl respond? he's 21, he's 5 years younger than me, and I swear she laughed and said, "Oh, please." So, did he even know her? Just some random girl? I guess that's what it is. Something like that. Why the hell is the timing gonna work on that though? What? Look at these other tabs. So this is why I don't like trying to transcribe stuff, especially the old things. It's such a pain in the ass to fucking hear it. Let me see that other video again. He does know her and he has a girlfriend already. Good lord. There's an AI girlfriend. Ha. Where is it? Where is that damn freaking... No, that's not it. Did I close it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with what this guy's got. Okay. It almost sounds like a triplet thing when I'm listening to it, but whatever. Like, that needs to be this note. So no slide there. Although I did hear, it sounded like, okay, it was like that. Okay, so like. I think it was really just like a really strong vibrato on that. And that's what ended up happening. So get rid of the bend. And then put a very wide vibrato on that, and I think we're good for that lick. Where's the wide vibrato? There we go. Okay. Finally. So now that's in place. I need to be able to play this thing up to speed in order to teach it, so we need to work on getting this thing up. So that means some guitar practice. Alright. I need to eat a protein bar, damn it. My eating's all screwed up right now. So hopefully I'm not making a bunch of gross noises. Ugh, okay. So all that straight 16s. It did seem like it turned into more of a triplet there. Maybe. Because it definitely didn't seem like a reverse gallop, though. I'm going to change that. I'm pretty sure it's triplets. All right. Let's get it. You know what we're starting at, right? You should by now. God damn. I do not know what one actor or actress I can't stand. Nobody comes to mind right away. What prompted that idea? Just a random topic? Protein and coffee in one. Excellent. Stream of consciousness on the live stream. Kirk. Anyway, let's get back to this. Today. Transition for the 16th notes into the trips would be tough. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. The way this lick is structured is just, well, I think it's dumb. I mean, like, I know he's just slopping it too. Something like that. Anyway, but I want to get it precise because that's the only way I know how. But the pattern's too new, so that was really going to happen. I suppose I can implement some of this stuff I'm thinking of, because we can do... So that's going to be one thing to work on this. Da-da-da-da-dum, 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 da-da-da-da-dum. One E and a 2. 3 and a 4. So now I got to change this a little bit. Let's move this up here. Uh-oh. Copy and paste. Da-da-da-da-dum, 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 da-da-da-da-dum. The main part in question is the slidey bit, the 16th note section. So let's see, you got that. Alright, we got this, and we'll have the 15. So there's one way of breaking it down. So we can work on that right now. Because why not? What is one song you are proud of accomplishing? What, like learning? Oh hell, I don't know. Most of the songs I learned I forgot. Never really felt like a... I mean, I felt pretty damn happy to get one of those shredding Bach things down, because that was insanely difficult. Harslow, Prowling, Toto's Hold the Line. I think that was the first thing you sent me, wasn't it? Alright, I'm going to use this and see how well it helps out here. God, it's such a terrible note, but that's what he plays, a terrible note. But it's going so quick, it doesn't really sound too bad. It's going to sound terrible slow, though. 210. All right. See you later, Mr. Joe. Oh, goodness. We'll see you next week. All right, well, that definitely helped with that. So the next step for something like this, we're going to do basically here to here. So let's change this to a 3/4. Yeah, just that. And then into legato bits. Or that would be next. Not a whole lot of things you can do with this one, I don't feel. I don't know, I might have to get creative to see if, like, what else can I think of to help with this sort of thing. Because it's so dang short. Alright, well, let's practice that now. Okay, it's almost been an hour. Had an idea of something I could throw in, because if you can't do this, well, then you're not going to be able to play it, because you need to be able to do reverse gallops fast enough. easier to actually pick it all, I think. Small break. I don't know if I'm going to get this chunk up. But oh well. I guess in the meantime, I can start thinking about what are we going to watch, what are we going to respond to. It's got to be a video with lots of views. Oh, man. $583,000 views. That's another Bernth. That one has almost 600,000. Ooh. That one has over 1 million. It might have to be that. That's a 3-year-old video, though. Alright, let's get back to this. There, god damn. Good enough. Of course, just doing this that bar on its own is a good idea. Each beat by itself is a good idea. Yep, those are all very good ideas. Okay, let's see. So for anyone watching, well, obviously for right now, anyone watching the archive thing, we're going to do lots of extra stuff. So that's one thing you can always just do, like a bar or a beat, really. So like this is fine. This is fine. So we just make it a 1/4. So all that is totally fine. Oh, I have both selected. What? Oh my god, I'm dumb. 2 for you, jackass. Fuck. Okay. Here, copy and paste that. Copy and paste that. So yeah, this is definitely a good approach on these things. Just do one bar, or like a beat to beat. Get that up. Beat to beat, beat to beat. Absolutely. Break it down into as many pieces as you need to. Doing it like that's a good thing. Doing it 2 beats at a time is another good thing. Basically what I'm about to do. Or, yeah, I could do it that way. Just provide all kinds of options here. I want to put this here. Okay, so we can do this as its own exercise thing. Do that as its own exercise thing. Just work that up. Save that. More great news. Finally, I'm getting Mesa. Ooh. Dream rig will be complete. Well, that is very cool. That is very good news. Are you in a place where you can crank the hell out of it? Make it loud? Okay, so yeah, that's definitely a good thing there. And then you can do it, practice it that way. And then doing it like just that amount. Ha. Backyard party or backyard concert. I know some people do that. Glad they don't do that shit where I am right now. It would drive me crazy. Alright, so there's that. And then this plus the 15. Yep. Okay. What have I done? What have I done? Oh, this needs to be in the beginning here. Okay. Right, because it's this much here, and then the 15 at the end of that. Right, okay. So I can just do that much. Let me do a little test here. Do a little test. Let's see here. Let's do a little piece by piece here. That's fine. That's fine. That's terrible. There you go. Good. Alright, and then this part. What the hell was that? That's probably gonna have to be the other thing there, is getting into the next part. Yeah. Anyway, just by itself, that part, totally fine. Alright, that's good there. Next little chunk. How about this by itself? Is that okay? Fine. That part. Alright, so there's that bit. So how about this? What about just those 3 beats right now? Nope. Nope. Yeah, that would be worth building up there. Okay, fuck it, let's keep going. Let's drop this bitch down. Pick it up. Nope. Come on. There. Again. Yeah, I'm not gonna get this whole thing today. That's frustrating. Whatever. Let's see, back to the video picking. The one with the most views. Is there any way I could filter it like that? Sort. Most popular. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that one looks fun to try, but I won't be doing it right now. It says, are you tone deaf or musically gifted? A fun test for non-musicians. Interesting. Okay, this one is 2.9 million views. Get faster fingers in 1 week, and they're holding a funny chord. I think I already have an idea what it's going to be. Number 1 finger exercise for guitar, it says. Alright, well, we're going to watch that one then. Start with that. Almost 8 minutes long. Alright, I got to end with a good take, though. Do this, good take, then start watching the video. Do this, get a good take. Bathroom break, then the video. Fuck you. God damn it. Alright, just drop it down so I can get a good take to end with. There. Oy. Yeah. Brain just about had it. Yeah. Alright, anyway, so get this video ready to go. Hit that old bathroom break. Yeah, it's this'n.
It's Dorian. It's Lydian.
Holy shit. It's Dorian. It's Lydian. It's... Wait a minute. Did I click on the wrong thing? I did.
Or chord changes.
All right. Yeah, I don't think this is I don't think it's going to pertain to this this channel's genre, but hey, we're going to watch it anyway because damn it. Coattail writing. All right. BRB AFK All right, did everybody leave? Well, nobody said anything in the comments, so who knows? All right, so sorry about that. It took longer than expected because I remembered I needed to, or wanted to change the laundry. Had to switch it out. Okay, time to open the Dr. Pepper. Time for the old disclaimer. That's right, still haven't written one up or made a stupid short video to play. So, disclaimer time. Gonna do a live reaction. Gonna watch a video from Lauren Bateman. I don't know who this is, but she's doing a hell of a lot better than me. She's got over 442,000 subscribers. I don't even have 10,000. And so yeah, live reaction videos. Never done with the intent of tearing anyone down, being a complete jerk, although sometimes I'm sure I come across as one. And for those of you wondering, isn't this just coattail writing? Yes it is, because I'm trying to take advantage of what I have read is a good way to build the channel. So let's see if I can add anything of value to the conversation, get some stuff talked about here, see if we can learn anything. See what we agree on, disagree on, all that crap. Here we go. Man, oh man. Maybe I'll have the disclaimer next week. So, I have never seen this video before. This will be an honest first-time reaction. She has Ninja Turtles. Did you know in, I think, Europe, or maybe it's just England, they're called Hero Turtles in the old 80s cartoon. Now you do. Anyway, now you know. So here we go. The video is called Get Faster Fingers in 1 Week, #1 finger exercise for guitar. The Anna is here. Hola. Yeah. I heard the theme song being sung from like England, and yeah, it said they're going Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. I don't know why. Are ninjas frowned upon over there? Here we go.
I'm going to show you a very special finger exercise that's going to help you get faster fingers in 1 week, and you don't even need a guitar pick. A big question I get asked about students all the time is, Lauren, how do I get my fingers faster for playing scales or chord changes? And it all comes down to the same mechanics. Now, I see lots of teachers out there teaching spider exercises, and I teach spider exercises as well, but there is a special exercise that really focuses on the tendons in your hand. Now, why is this so important? I want you to put your hand up in front of your face, okay? And I want you to bend your pinky finger, okay? Just like this, okay? Look what happens to your third finger, all right? When you bend your pinky, even your second finger moves just a little bit. You cannot move your pinky and you cannot move your third finger without other fingers going with it. So I have a great exercise here that mimics chord changes, but it's also going to help you with playing scales and other stuff as well too. But it's going to help us get real independence on our fingers. So speed comes down to two things when playing guitar. It comes down to muscle memory. Okay, can you actually make these chords changes, or can you play these scales without necessarily needing to look at the guitar? Because as soon as you start thinking about things, it starts slowing down that time factor. So if you can start doing things off muscle memory, that helps a lot too.
I agree. You know, when you want to shred, you want to play things really, really fast, it's important that you're no longer really thinking about it. So that's a big reason why I always talk about metronome work, metronome practice, because it helps put things, yes, in that muscle memory. How did they get an image of your brain? I'm trying to think of something witty to say, and only dumb, obvious things come to mind, so I'm not going to say it.
But also is relaxation, okay? I used to be a boxer. I used to do amateur boxing, and I always tell people, if you get really tense and you try to force a punch out there, when you have so much tension, there's only so fast you can go. It's going to be slow. But if you relax your arm, relax your body, boom, and you just throw a punch out there, you can do it much quicker when you're relaxed. So speed actually comes for relaxation, and that's what this exercise is going to focus on.
This is the usual thing we talk about many times on this channel, right? The idea of you gotta be relaxed to play fast. Well, we don't want tension. Sorry, I'm just like having a conversation in my own head. Like, how many times am I going to say the same thing? And I guess as many times as I need to. Many times we watch this stuff. Yeah, there's a difference between wanted tension and unwanted tension. Obviously, when you're throwing a punch, you can't do it all relaxed. You have to have some tension in order to throw a proper punch, because, well, you got to put force behind it. So there's some kind of tension. There's force being produced. You cannot produce force while being relaxed. Not possible. So if you're going to play fast, there's going to be some tension involved. But as she demonstrated, if you have too much tension, you're not going to be able to move very well. So that I agree with. But remember, there is a difference between wanted tension and unwanted tension. Gotta find that sweet spot in between.
Now, this is one of a few exercises that I teach in my 7-level guitar system to develop finger dexterity. And what we're going to do in this, we're going to go through this step by step, and I'm going to give you some tips. So please stick through the whole thing so that you get the tips on this exercise. We're going to start on the 3rd string, the G string, and we're going to be at frets 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, I have all of my fingers down. Now, for some people, to keep all these fingers down might be too much of a stretch. Now, you might have to go up to frets 7, 8, 9, and 10, okay? Because these frets are a little bit shorter, and it doesn't matter. It's not really the distance, the stretch right now we're working on. It's more the tendon. So if this is more comfortable for you, that's totally fine as well. I'm going to go back to 5, 6, and 7, and 8, because that's where I'm used to doing it. And what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of like finger push-ups. One finger at a time individually, and we're going to start with the first finger. And the goal is to try and keep all of these fingers down. Now, if you're just getting started and you have a lot of tension, you may have to use your other fingers to hold your other fingers in place. And what we're going to do is take this first finger, go up to the top string and down to the bottom string. Okay, so top string, bottom string, top string, bottom string. And try not to do this with your wrist. Try not to use your wrist to assist you. I'm going to pull up my sleeve so you guys can see my wrist here. Okay, try to keep your wrist neutral, and it's just the finger that is moving. Top string, bottom string, top string, bottom string. And for a lot of people, the first finger is not going to be a problem at all. You're going to be able to do this. Now, I recommend doing up and down about 20 times and moving on to the next finger.
I guess one question I have is like, well, why would tension cause you to raise your other fingers? I mean, that's just me being nitpicky at this point. But lack of finger independence will certainly cause that, but I don't see how tension will. But anyway, she might know more than me. She knows how to make a channel better than me, I'll tell you that. Deaf World with the jokes.
Okay, so now we're going to do finger number 2. All right, and finger number 2 also doesn't give people a lot of issues, but again, do it 20 times so you can work on the finger independence. The issue is now going to come in where these next 2 fingers, and I showed you why. It's because the tendons in the hands, when you move these fingers, especially this 3rd finger, look when you move this 3rd finger, you've got the pinky moving and your middle finger moving. So that 3rd finger is really connected, and when you guys go to do a C chord to a G chord change, look at that 3rd finger, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to mimic what we're doing in chord changes. That's what we're doing here. So now, I'm going to skip the 3rd finger for now because it tends to be the worst, and you'll see in a few seconds why. The other problem finger is the pinky. Sometimes people, they cannot reach the strings. If you cannot reach the top string with your pinky yet, don't worry. If you can get to the 5th string, that's fine too. But try your best to get it to go up and down as fast as possible on those strings. Now, when you're doing this exercise, do not forget to breathe, okay? If you are not breathing, you are not getting oxygen to your muscles, you are adding in tension, okay? So just relax. Remember to breathe. Here's the problem finger. Finger number 3.
I actually used to point using my middle finger. And I was pointing at something in the grocery store when I was a kid. And a woman scolded my mother, saying, "What a terrible child." Because I would point like this. Shame on me.
Okay, almost everyone has a problem. I learned this exercise after I've been playing guitar for 10 years, and I was still, I could barely move the 3rd finger. Now, when you go up to the top string, it's probably easy. The hard part's going to come right here. Lowering it down to the 1st string. When I first started, I couldn't do this. So I'm going to give you guys a little tip. In the beginning, you might need to use your other finger to assist you on getting this finger to go up and down, okay? But the important part to remember here is to relax. Breathe. Do not force the finger down. Don't muscle it down. That's tension. We want to relax. Breathe. Breathe out.
I feel like it would be fine to force it in the beginning, and then as you continue to do it, you'll force it less. Ill-mannered child. There we go. Yeah, I don't see any. I mean, I highly doubt you're gonna have to go, from one string to the next. But if you gotta, it's like, what would you use to force it? Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, what? Like, I can see, really struggling to keep the other fingers down. Like, if anything, you're gonna keep tension on the other fingers to make sure they're not flying up. But I don't know. Like, I don't see any real issue with muscling it to, forcing it to do what you want it to do in the beginning. And then, well, let's play the old devil's advocate. I'm always saying, only perfect practice makes perfect. So, would that go against it? If you're trying to do this in a relaxed state, wouldn't it be bad to do so in a non-relaxed state? My whole thing with perfect practice is, does it sound good? And we're trying to make the notes sound correct. So if you make the notes sound correct, wouldn't that, to me that's what matters most. If the form is there and you keep doing it, eventually you should relax into it because you've done it so many times. But a lot of people would have trouble doing this one. I mean, so far it seems like a fine thing to try, especially if it helps. But I already have a conclusion to this response in mind. Here we go, continuing on.
Relax the finger, okay? We want to get this finger to move relaxed. Now you can see I can move this finger up and down pretty easily. It works really well. I could not do that when I first learned this exercise. Now there is a huge disclaimer, a big warning I have to give you about this exercise, so please do not click away just yet because this is very, very important. So this is what we call a repetitive motion exercise. We're doing the same motion up and down, up and down, up and down. Now if you overdo this, a little bit of this exercise goes a long way. If you overdo this, because of this motion you're doing, you could develop carpal tunnel if you overdo it. So here is my practice recommendation. A little goes a long way. If you were sitting down to practice, 20 up and downs per finger, okay? So 20 are an up and down, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? You're gonna do 20 per finger, and then you're done, okay? That's it. Right, 20 ups and downs per finger. Work on relaxing. If your 3rd and 4th finger are really, really bad, what I would recommend doing is do these 2 fingers, do the whole set at the beginning of your practice, and then at the end of your practice, just focus on the 3rd and 4th fingers. Do 20 more reps with just those 2, and I guarantee in the next 1 to 2 weeks, these chord changes are going to be moving much faster because instead of just sitting here and doing spider exercises, you're actually focusing on the things that are mimicking the chord changes, and you're actually working on finger independence, which will help you relax, and that will help you go faster. Now, if you found this video super helpful,
But don't the spider exercises work on finger independence? Anyway, I'm being pedantic. See? Sometimes I sound like a big jerk doing these things. But there's not a lot to discuss on this video either, so the next one will hopefully get more interesting.
I have lots of tips like this in my 7-level guitar system. It is a beginner guitar system designed to help students just like you go from absolute beginner to playing the songs that you know and love. We work on chords, we work on strumming, we work on finger independence, and I've helped so many students just like you finally have more fun playing their guitar. Check out the link in the description below. I hope to see you guys in a lesson video real soon.
This video is sponsored by...
Shush. Well, there we go. What's the conclusion on that one? Is it the #1 finger exercise? How do you quantify that? Yeah, that's a clickbait part. Is it a good exercise? Sure. Especially if you can't do it. Can I see it being helpful? Yes. Can I see myself giving that to a student? I don't know. Personally, if I got people that are having trouble switching into certain chords, I would rather do something that's actually hitting the chords themselves. And I've got some ideas, and I've given people ideas on how to practice chord changes and whatnot. But, fine video, fine lesson. Nothing more to say about it. So, there we go. Non-interesting response. What a way to get back into streaming after being away for, well, technically 1 week. Alright, so that is removed from the playlist. Let's see. Let's do another one. Gotta do another one. Okay, well we know this one is metal based. Oops, I didn't remove this from the list. So yes, well, we're going to watch this one. You know who it is. You know it's Bernth. Then this one's from 3 years ago. Of course. Gotta start with the shreddy intro. I just realized I shouldn't have closed something. Okay. So. Bored with him. Well, let's see what happens. So one thing, I'm very curious what's going to happen with something that's 3 years old. Because with the more recent ones, the more recent videos that Bernth does, it seems very sales heavy. I wonder if it was different years ago. So let's find out. Alright. Do I need to do the disclaimer thing again? You know. Nah, let's just get into it.
Stop. Today we actually take a break from all the shredding and do something a bit different. You guys and girls voted for the top.
Alright, so yes, the title is The 5 Most Important Music Theory Tricks Finally Sound Like a Pro. Well, he definitely has the clickbait title still from back then. So, yeah, let's find out what these tips are, or tricks are. Let's see if I know them. Let's see what we can expand upon with the theory tricks.
Of music theory on the lesson wish list on Patreon for this month. So this is the perfect opportunity to talk about the 5 most important theory skills you should master that will change your playing forever. So let's not waste any more time and dive right into those 5 really interesting topics right away.
Well, they had a different intro back then.
Before we continue, I have some very shocking news. 70% of you guys and girls that are watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel yet. That means you keep missing a lot of very important stuff and cool weekly guitar content, so make sure to subscribe right now to stay
So
updated.
many people talk
That
about
way you
this
can
crap.
finally officially join this guitar community that is dedicated to progress and getting better every single day. So as a guitar player, what could be the first skill you have to work on before you can even get into music theory? It's learning all the notes on the fretboard. And I know...
Hang on, let me hear that again.
This guitar community that is the skill you have to progress and getting better every single day. So as a guitar player, what could be the first skill you have to work on before you can even get into music theory?
What is the first scale you have to work on before you get into music theory? Have to. Well, I would argue the major scale is the most important one to learn, but you don't have to start with that one either.
It's learning all the notes on the fretboard.
I'm already questioning that one. I don't think it's necessary to learn where all the notes are on the fretboard to begin. In fact, a lot of students ask me if that's something they need to practice, and I tell them, like, no. Like, if you know how to navigate, go from one note to the next, if you know the names of your strings, that's a very good starting point. Remembering what notes have the half step between them, so B and C, E and F. Those are the ones that only have the half step. Everything else is a whole step. So if you can remember that, you can quickly figure out what note you're on the old fretboard. And I tell my students that, when we're learning these chords, we're learning the modes and all this stuff, and you're seeing the note names over and over and over again, you're going to start remembering where this stuff is, instead of just trying to remember where every single note is right away. But let's see what he says.
And I know this seems like a really tedious task, but let me quickly inform you why this is so important. First of all, you will never really be able to communicate with other musicians and other instrumentalists, because you can't always refer to the notes you're playing like, I'm playing on the 4th fret on the 3rd string. Okay.
Yeah, you can. Man, that's how most of my experience has been playing with other people, is people saying what string and what fret they're playing on. They're not saying what notes a lot of the time. They're just saying fret numbers and string numbers and all that stuff. So you don't have to know the names of your notes in order to communicate with other musicians, especially guitar players, because I've worked with plenty of guitar players and bass players that don't know a damn thing about music theory, and we were still able to communicate just fine. Sometimes it was funny. Yeah, it would have been easier if they knew some theory, but yeah, you definitely can communicate without knowing all the notes.
Piano or saxophone player won't really understand what you're talking about.
That part's true. A piano player and a saxophone player will probably not know what you mean by strings and frets and all that, but if it's just guitar players, then that's a different story. So it depends on the musician what their instrument is.
And aside from that basic concept of communication, it's also necessary to visualize the notes on the fretboard and to be able to locate them quickly for anything else you plan to do with music theory. So here's the exercise I recommend to start out with when it comes to note location. It's called the octave triangle. As you can see with this exercise, we're taking advantage of the octave interval, and the way it is spread out over the different strings resembles a triangle, hence the name octave triangle. So in the beginning you could just learn the notes on the low E string, for example just the white keys. So that would be E, the open low E string, F, G, A, B, C, D. And then first grade news is that all the rest of the notes are repeated in the next octave starting from the 12th fret. And then you can just fill in the notes in between. For example, the note between F and G could either be F raise the semitone, so F sharp, or G lower the semitone, so G flat. And then after you're able to visualize the notes on one string, you could start working with the octave triangle exercise that I showed you in this video. As you could see with the second repetition, I wasn't just playing single notes anymore, I was playing fragments of the A minor scale, so I can also use this knowledge and moving shapes in octaves with scale fragments or with arpeggios, so that is really useful for the future. So if you're not comfortable yet with finding all the notes across the fretboard, I'd recommend to do that for 5 to 10 minutes every day before you start your practice session. Just start out with a couple of note location exercises, and then you can move to the second topic.
So that's a fine thing to do, although I think it's kind of funny, like he talks about do this before you're starting your practice. Wouldn't that be starting your practice? What about, but we're missing the A string and the G string, because right now he's just covering the E, D, and the high E string. And yeah, that's a fine way of looking at things. Can certainly be helpful. But what about the A string? And what about the G string? And the D or B string? So we're missing strings here. Perhaps he's going to cover this in a moment. I don't know. First time watching the video, so I have no idea what's coming up. But yeah, that's not enough to teach you where all the names of the notes are on guitar. Fine exercise to help you see octaves, but not enough because it's leaving out half of your strings.
This one is called chord construction, and that refers to understanding how chords are actually built. Because in the beginning we are usually just studying chord shapes with chord diagrams, just learning where to put our fingers and memorizing that, but we don't really think about the notes we are playing in the chord and about their harmonic function and relation. That system of learning makes things extremely hard. If you just memorize where to put your fingers and how the shape looks like, you will only make significant progress with learning and really understanding complex and unique sounding chord shapes by analyzing the relation that the notes are in. So in the beginning, instead of just memorizing where to put your fingers with those basic major and minor shapes we all start out with, I would suggest to locate and name the notes you're actually playing with those chords and to study the intervals that you're playing. For example, a super basic major chord like C major right here consists of the root, major third and perfect fifth, and C minor would consist of the root, minor third and perfect fifth. So by just comparing the basic structure of major and minor chords that way, I realized that I only have to change one note with those voicings. When I change the major third in the major chord to a minor third, I get a minor chord. So one fundamental exercise that really helps with understanding how chords are constructed is playing all the intervals and naming them. So when you are playing the following exercise, I also want you to memorize the name of each interval and also the sound of each interval. So study.
So that can certainly help you memorize what the intervals are. But because it's growing up in a chromatic way, I question how well that's actually going to help somebody get really familiar with those different sounds. Because I feel like it's played in such a way that it's a unit. So what you're really hearing, what I'm hearing, is just a chromatic ascension. Instead of actually hearing like those intervals for what they are. It's like when I work with students on this stuff, of course, I mean, yeah, we cover all chords and the intervals and whatnot. Like, to me, I think you'd have a better time. This is just my very biased opinion and how I would want to approach it. But like when I'm teaching students new chords and whatnot, and I've done this so many different ways over the years, and I keep trying to improve how I do this. And I've slowed down a lot of how I go from one chord to the next because I really want them to have a good understanding of what's happening. But yeah, it'd be good to like go between, like, say that major, and then you could just play the minor. Even that might be kind of weird. You can definitely hear a difference there for sure. But maybe just where am I trying to go with this? Even that has like kind of a chromatic sound to it. So maybe just like getting familiar with what major chords in key sound like, you know, like your C, F, and G. Kind of paying attention to how those sound. And that is one thing I like to tell students, like, think about what it sounds like to you. What emotions does it convey? How would you describe what those chords are? Typically major chords are considered happy. And then like your minor chords in the same key is C or A minor. And then hearing those minor chords, I kind of playing those separately. Sound a bit more, maybe not necessarily sad, but definitely more down. And like with the second interval, I like the idea of like even just like going between a major and a suspended second. That's one way to get used to hearing that. Even just playing a bunch of suspended seconds in key. But yeah, I just can question like how well you're gonna actually hear the intervals when you're just going up in order like that. But yeah, maybe some people it does help. I would just want to go about it a little bit different way. Sound like Nintendo 64 game chords. What game? Or which games? 'Cause I wouldn't know. I should know. I've played plenty. Alright, let's continue.
And learning all the intervals is a great first step for chord construction. After that you can start learning the major and minor triads, so we're not just working with two notes anymore. For those major triads we're playing the root, major third and perfect fifth, and for the minor triads the root, minor third and perfect fifth, so just like with the major and minor chords. The following exercise is really great for understanding and learning those minor and major triad shapes and understanding their connection. So if you want to work on this following triad exercise, I really want you to think about the notes that you're playing and where the root, third and fifth are located with every single inversion. And then after working on these triads for a while, you can move to seventh chords, then you can move to chord extensions, and so on. This is a really complex topic, so make sure to take it slow and start out with the intervals. That's my personal suggestion.
Yeah, it's yes, definitely send the Martin Miller one over, so we have other things besides Bernth to watch. I just go with what seems controversial or popular in the suggestions here. So if people got things to watch, let's do it. Mario 64. Well, they're guaranteed they're using triads and all that stuff. An hour-long video, gotcha. So yeah, Bernth's suggestion of learning the intervals first, I feel like that would overwhelm most people. Only you start with some intervals first. Because if you're like, here's all the different possibilities, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do with those? Nothing. Like, what would you do? Because the way I go about teaching chords, and it ties in with arpeggios as well, is start with basic stuff. Like, even just something as simple as just a power chord, a fifth chord, the root notes, and the fifth interval, right? And I'm not going to go too in-depth with what all that stuff is here because he's correct. This is a very in-depth subject. And man, there's not enough time, even if I went 24 hours straight, to go through everything. It's just way too much, way too much. But yeah, that's like such a powerful building block, just the root and the five, because so many chords use that. But then you get into what he talked about, triads, like your major triad, your minor, diminished. Those are the three triads that happen in major, minor keys. You have an augmented chord that happens in harmonic minor. Some people have referred to suspended chords as triads, and I very much question that, because most of the time when you read what a triad is, it is a three-note chord built by stacking thirds. So a suspended chord does not do that. It's a three-note chord, but it's not built by stacking thirds. Yeah, I have students learn, what triads are. Yes, those very basic things. How they are applied to in key, so this way you have something musical, and then learn movable shapes with those things, all over the fretboard. So again, they're getting used to hearing and seeing this stuff in a musical way, and then putting all these things in different progressions. So again, you can hear it in a musical way, see how the fretboard is laid out, learn about the numbered chord progression system, and they learn about your inversions and putting all that stuff together, and then eventually the arpeggio, so you can arpeggiate all those chords, put those in progressions. So you're going to know triads inside and out before we move into the next chords that I work with people on, and that's your suspended seconds and suspended fourths. So I have people spend a lot of time on the new changes before we move on to another thing, and then continue to build on that. So yeah, eventually we do move into your seventh chords. But we put it in a musical context, so this way you know what the hell's going on. And then I think you have a much better chance of memorizing what those unique intervals are, because you learn the new interval and then you hammer it down, like hammer it home just over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, instead of learning all the intervals at once and having no musical context whatsoever. So here I go, sounding like a jerk once again, not agreeing with Bernth once again. There was some stuff that I agreed with a lot of back when we first started reacting to this guy. But man, I've been having a lot of disagreements lately, huh? Deaf World, that would be suited for intermediate players and advanced but not beginners, maybe? Not really. Eventually, in terms of like musical understanding, like you gotta start with some intervals at the beginning for sure if you want to understand the chord theory. Also mode theory, because intervals tie into chords and modes, and modes can help you understand chords better as well, and it all goes and ties together there. But just starting with all the intervals at once, no. I think once you are, like, I guess, intermediate to advanced, you'll have a better understanding of what those intervals are. But easing into it and taking your time with it, he did say that, so that's good, I agree. Ease into it, take your time, because it's a lot to learn. But just learn one thing at a time, not all of them, one thing. Yes, indeed, that is why there are different teachers, for sure. And damn it, I try and make it so everyone who does listen to me can understand. That's why I go so in depth with all this stuff, which probably ends up boring some people, instead of having quick clickbaity things. And that's why my channel is teeny tiny. Or maybe that's one reason. That and a lack of consistency for a few years there. Anyway, oh, he's scolding us.
Alright, let's move to step number 3 before we get lost in chord theory. This one is called composing in a key. So this is a skill that surprisingly a lot of rock and metal guitar players don't really have, since they are used to stacking riffs together and not really thinking about composing in a certain key. And for me that always kind of stood in the way of fully understanding music theory, of writing interesting and melodic guitar solos over my riffs, since I had no idea what kind of notes I was playing. I was just playing random notes, and then I couldn't really find a melody or a guitar solo over that, so that was really frustrating for me. And then as soon as I understood basic cadences and what kind of key I'm actually playing and composing in, things got much easier. So if you want to get started working on that, my personal suggestion would be just writing down the natural major scale, for example. Let's pick C major. Maybe you're familiar with the notes of this very popular scale already.
I am!
C, D, E, F, G, A, B, up to C, the octave once again. So now if I want to know which chords I have available to work with in the key of C major, I just have to stack the 3rd and 5th to all of those notes in the scale by only using notes that I can find within the scale. A super basic way of learning to understand it in the beginning is just counting up 3 notes to get the 3rd for every note in the scale, and 5 notes to get the 5th for every note in the scale. So let's say I'd like to find out what kind of chord I have on the 1st scale degree in the...
That sounded confusing the way he worded that to me. I know what he's getting at, but yes, that's true, because reading a YouTube comment from Death World, that's true. Just because you can play intermediate or advanced songs doesn't mean anything in terms of music theory. Yeah, that's true. We watched the Martin Miller one. You would give up studying with him. Is that because Martin Miller, he moves too quick? He doesn't do a good job of explaining things? Or what do you think it is? Well, I mean, I know you said it's challenging, but what do you think is the challenging part? So Bernth here, I'm assuming he's talking about like the triad chords you can use. So like, yeah, if you skip every other note, you'll basically get us like C, E, and G. That's your C major chord. If you go D, F, A, that's your D minor. If you go E, G, and B, put those 3 notes together. See, now I'm not explaining things well. So if you go C, if you play C, E, and G at the same time, that's a C major chord. D, F, and A at the same time, D minor. E, G, and B at the same time is E minor. F, A, and C at the same time is F major. G, B, and D at the same time is G major. A, C, and E at the same time is A minor. And then B, D, F at the same time is B diminished. But there are certainly far more chords than that you can play. But yes, if you make chords using just these 7 notes, then they all work together, and because they are just the same 7 notes, so you can makes it a lot easier to solo on top of when all the chords are in key. So I think that's what he's trying to get at here.
In the C major scale, I would just count up 3 notes, so 1 C, 2 D, 3 E. So the 3rd for the chord on the first scale degree would be E.
Yes.
And then I'm counting up 5 notes to get the fifth for the first chord on the first scale degree. So 1 C, 2 D, 3 E, 4 F, and 5 G. So the fifth for this first chord in C major would be G, and the third for this first chord in C major would be E. And since there is a major third and a perfect fifth, that would be a C major chord. So unsurprisingly, I have a C major chord on the first scale degree or on the tonic of C major. So that is a super quick and basic breakdown on how to form the chords in every key that you want to work with. Just take the scale and construct the chords on every single scale degree. That is a great exercise for you in the beginning, really writing down every single note in the scale and then adding the third and the fifth, only using the notes in the scale, and then seeing what kind of chords you come up with. And of course you can consult the internet and then check if you're right or wrong. So as a homework exercise for you, I'd recommend writing down the chords in the keys of, let's say, F major and G minor. Once you do that more often and work with different cadences in those keys, you get a much better understanding of how to write, compose, and how to play music in a key. Let's move to the fourth topic now. This one is called scales. Just like with chords, I was just thinking in those diagrams, boxes, and shapes in the beginning, and I wasn't really thinking about the notes that I was playing. I was just memorizing the root note of each scale so I can move it around in different keys. But I was just seeing the dots on the fretboard, so to say, like in those scale diagrams, and I was not seeing the notes that I was playing. And the biggest problem with that is that I was just mechanically learning all those scales, like the modes, for example, the B Locrian scale, the G Mixolydian scale, the E Phrygian scale, and so on. But once again, I had no idea how to actually use that sound and where the characteristic notes are actually located in that scale that make this sound so special. So the way I personally recommend learning about scales is once again visualizing the notes and the intervals that you're playing. For example, just starting out with the natural major and minor scale.
The Locrian mist scale. Yes, indeed. I actually tell students all the time, stop worrying about what note it is and just focus on what the interval is, if it has to do with intervals. I think it's beneficial to rely on shapes for sure, because it's useful. It saves a lot of time with stuff. And then it's also beneficial to be able to break down, understand, and explain what is happening in the scales and the chords. So this way, you know, you're talking about mode stuff and you want, like he said, to be able to use the unique characteristics of a particular mode, then yeah, you want to understand what the intervals are within the mode and how to change something from one mode to the next, if you want to understand modes, that is. If you're playing over a chord progression, the chord progression itself is really going to determine what the mode is, not the scale that you're using. Because if you're playing in key, if you're playing along with those chords, everything's in key, the chords will set the mode for you. And if you play notes that sound good with the chords, you know, using your ear, it's like, yep, that sounds good there, and then you venture off a little bit, and then you stop on another note, like, that sounds good there. Again, the chords will determine what the mode is for you. But yeah, it's good, I feel, to learn, yes, what the notes are, so this way you can understand what's happening. Also learn what those intervals are and focus on seeing the distance from one thing to the next. But also relying on those shapes too, because you can play things and figure things out a lot faster when you're just using those shapes. It's like knowing that, like, yep, that's the 1 to the 5, and if I go like this, I know that's the 1 to the minor third. If I go like this, I know that's the 1 to the 2. If I go like this, I see that's a 1, 5, and a 9, which is the octave of the 2. And just being able to see what those shapes are makes it a lot easier. Because like if I'm just gonna go here real quick, instead of thinking about like, oh well, what are all 3 notes right there? It's like I know that's a major chord, right? It's like when I'm having like students like try and like manipulate things or add things or whatnot. To like, I'll give them a chord shape and tell them like to like just change it, like figure out where the octave is on certain things. So like for example, like maybe they have a D major chord and they're trying to do a D major 7. When I teach them this stuff, it's like, okay, well just identify where the octave is within that shape. So if you remember what that looks like, you can find it right there on the G string. And I tell them, just take that note and flat it, and then you got yourself that major 7. So remembering little things like that is fine. Instead of starting off, it's like, okay, well here's the D, that's the 1, you go 1, 2, 3. There's the F sharp, that's the 3, and then just counting through everything every single time. Like, no, like it's good to be able to do that, but then eventually rely on the shapes to make things easier. We want to make things easier, as easy as possible to navigate. So yes, relying on shapes is a wonderful thing, I think. Nothing wrong with it. But then again, he's way more successful than me, so maybe I'm the one who's wrong.
And the great thing is that for a lot of different scales, much more exotic sounding scales, you just have to change minor details in the natural major or minor scale to get there. So that was my biggest misconception when it comes to scales. I thought you have to learn millions of scales, you have to learn a new scale every single day in order to play all those interesting sounds. But the truth is, once you master the natural major and minor scale all across the neck and you can really visualize the notes, you just have to change minor details in those two reference scales, so to say, to get more interesting sounds. So to get started with the topic of scales, here are a couple of really cool shred guitar scales that I want you to learn.
Those are in the same... Well, apparently harmonic minor is not a key, according to Victor Wooten. Only you have major and minor keys and that's it. Harmonic minor is a scale. That's a mode within harmonic minor. Did you know that? Oh, he's playing the Hungarian minor, one of my favorites.
And the fifth topic that is really important, at least in my opinion, is ear.
Here I go, sounding like a jerk again. He is Victor Wooten, so he can rewrite history. When you get to his level, you can do that. He's probably right. I mean, I'm sure he is. But I just wonder, like, okay, well, why is it only major and minor scales, or can it be just major and minor keys? How come harmonic minor is not considered a key? Why is it just considered a scale? That one I don't know. I want an answer, because I want to know, so I can tell other people. I'm curious why Bernth called those, what did he say, shred guitar scales? What about just the regular ones? I think well, anyway. So here I am being a pedantic jerk once again. But fine scales to learn. You can come up with all kinds of neat things. I like them.
Training. By actively training your ears to be able to hear.
Let Yngve and Victor have a discussion on it? I don't think Yngve would know what the hell he's talking about. I don't think Yngve knows much about theory. Because I've heard him call Phrygian dominant just Phrygian. He thinks Phrygian dominant is, or it's, I don't think he knows too much. So that would be an interesting discussion to listen to and to witness. I got a feeling Victor knows a hell of a lot more, and Yngve just knows, well, he knows harmonic minor, and that's about it.
Cadences or intervals correctly, You will save so much time when you try to figure out riffs, when you're transcribing riffs or solos, for example, because you're able to hear those intervals and those notes and cadences in your head already. So when you quickly have to learn material for a studio job, for a live job, for a transcription job, whatever you might be up to, you really benefit from at least being able to identify basic intervals or cadences. A great way of getting started with that is once again practicing the intervals we looked at before, since you will come across them a lot in rock and metal guitar riffs, for example, so it will be really easy to identify them after a while. And there are also a couple of really cool ear training apps that you can download, or ear training programs for your computer. With those apps you're challenged to name the intervals when both notes are played at the same time or also separately in both directions. And you will also have to identify the most important cadences you will come across quite often. 5-1 for example, or 2-5-1. The most popular jazz cadence, and so on. And once you get better with that, you really feel like you understand all those different building blocks that at least popular music is made of, and it will become extremely easy for you to learn different material quickly without always looking for tabs on the internet. Other topics that can be really important and that you should study as well are sight reading, as much as it hurts, but you might end up needing it if you want to do this professionally, and I can at least recommend tabbing the stuff that you're writing in Guitar Pro, for example, just to get a feeling for the rhythmic notation at least. Chord substitution can also be very important, or analyzing the cadences in jazz standards, identifying modal interchanges and other tricks like that. So it never gets boring and you're never done with all of that stuff. But for now, I think this serves as a great overview on where to get started and what you could work on right now. You can also find more lessons, more exercises, more video play-alongs, more tabs, and more guitar profiles on all of that on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Bernth. Over there you can already find over 100 lessons on guitar technique and theory, and I keep adding at least one lesson every single week. So if you still feel kind of lost with all of those topics, or if you just want to improve one of these very special topics right now, make sure to check out the individual lessons I recorded on these topics already. So in the end, make sure to subscribe to never miss another video like that again, and to leave a like in case you enjoyed it or learned something new, and of course a comment in case you have any questions for me. If you want to support the channel and the creation of more videos like that, you can also check out the merch on Teespring. As always, I left the link in the description. Thanks a lot to every single shredder who already ordered some merch. That really means a lot to me. I will hopefully see you guys and girls in the next video. All the best and have a lot of fun practicing your theory skills. Until then.
Well, he did do less salesy things back here, because the new stuff, it's almost like every other exercise he shows, he has the instruction course that you gotta buy or else you're gonna suck forever. At least that's how it was on one video. Anyway, well, there we go. Yeah. Lots of disagreement on this one. And I think my brain capacity is about done, so thinking of a summary on this one, I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, God. So this has been going on for almost an hour and a half. I mean, 2.5 hours. But yeah, learning your scales, very helpful. I do agree with what he said there, in terms of if you learn your scales, you learn the chords and all that stuff, it makes it way easier to learn things, to transcribe stuff. Yeah, being able to understand rhythm notation, very helpful. Being able to count that stuff, I agree with that. Sight reading, like, I always use a combination of tab and standard notation, but the standard notation is there just to tell you how long the notes are ringing out for. But as far as like just standard notation, no tab, that'd take me forever. Just never made much sense to me to do that on guitar, because there's just way too many places to play the exact same thing. I think it needs to be a combination of the tab and the notation, and then you're good to go. Ugh. Well, I think that's about... Good God, what the hell was that? My voice just sounded really stupid. Sure sounded like it to me. Anyway, that's going to be it for this week. Now that we're all back in town, I will continue to stream regularly each week. And the more different suggestions we get, the more varied these responses and reactions are going to be. Bernth is quite the popular guy. Apparently. I mean, hell, he's got over 1 million subscribers. I was looking at some of these things. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to watch this one. There's also watching stuff that pertains to what this channel does. Typically, when theory stuff seems to be watched on these streams, I feel like this chat just goes dead. I could have sworn I watched that Rick Beato video. Yep, tons of Bernth, of course. There's one called The Ultimate Guide for Speed Picking, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes long. That's a whopper. I don't know. We're going to watch that one? Maybe. Oh well. We'll see. Alright. We'll see you next time, Mr. Deaf World. Yep. Alright. It's time to end it. So thank you everybody who came in. Mr. Plastodon, Sal, Mr. Taylor. You know, miss 1 week, and there's a lot less people this time. We're getting a bit of a follow in there. Get more people in. Maybe it'll happen next time. Alright, that's it. Stream is done. See you next week.